What is up, Infinite Abundance family? The Galactic Guardian is reporting for duty 369. The whole universe is on my side. Goddamn right, I'm so divine. In this video, we're talking about your divine plan. We're talking about listening to your future self versus your past self. And we're going to give you guys an esoteric breakdown of how to follow your divine guidance. And I really encourage you guys to take that leap of faith and trust your guides. I really do. This has been completely changing my life on levels that I never thought possible. Okay, this is going to be somewhat of a dense topic today. Hopefully not too dense. Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully it's understandable. That is my intention, that this is relatable information that is practical and can be applied. So let's get into it. I believe that a lot of anxiety and worry that humans have in this lifetime is human beings are trying to figure everything out on their own. Either not realizing that they have a divine power guiding them or not trusting the divine power that is guiding them. It's one or the other. So what we humans like to do is we try to figure everything out. We try to control everything. We try to make everything look perfect. But here is where the issue is. The issue is, if you're planning in the future, the version of you that's planning ahead into the future is the limited physical self, because the version of you that's planning the future only has the information from the past to make the decision on what you think is best for this plan. Okay? That's called free will. That's called you making the plan. And that's one side of the spectrum, okay? The other side of the spectrum, this is when you allow God to plan for you. This is where you follow your divine plan. This is where you're following divine guidance, okay? So from that perspective, the first side of the spectrum I just showed you, that's your past self. So if I sit here, for example, I say, okay, tonight at 8 p.m. I'm going to meditate, and then at 11 I'm going to go to bed. Okay, if I say that now, that's me basing that decision in the future on the information I have about the past, based on my past experiences of, oh, I usually like to meditate this time, I usually like to go to sleep at this time, okay? But realize this, that decision's coming from limited knowledge and information. This is where it gets really interesting and really powerful. Does that make sense? I'm making that decision to meditate at 8 p.m. based off of my past experiences. Now here's the thing, my future self, which I am always connected to in my heart space, already knows every potential timeline and choice I could make and knows the best, most perfect, right decision to make every single moment that I possibly could ever make. You see what I'm saying? And by plugging into that guidance, you can make decisions based off of your future self instead of your past self. Okay? That's what divine guidance is. You're tapping into your future self or your guides. And like, for example, the past version of me, like let's say for example last night I planned out my day. I thought, maybe I should go live at 1 p.m. I'll go live on Instagram 1 p.m. I think that sounds like a good time. But here's the thing, I can't possibly know if that's the best time or not. But here's what I can know, is if I let go of control, I let go of trying to plan everything out, my guides or my future self is going to tell me exactly when to go live or when to not go live. So if I'm getting a nudge to go live, that's because A, there are people right now that are ready for this message, that are looking for this message, and are going to hop on when the message comes. There's a reason why, you see people hop on my live calls, and you'll see what they'll say is, I can't believe you just happened to go live right when I hopped on my phone, or as soon as I saw you hop on, I hopped on, just stuff like that. And the reason why is because we're all connected to the same collective mind, okay? So the reason why I have the ability to offer this message is because A, number one, is part of my blueprint to offer these messages, and B, because there are people that are looking to receive this message, okay? And of course, you can sit there and plan things out and, be a control freak, but ultimately it's probably not going to get you that far. And you know this. You know this. I believe the universe is testing us right now. The universe is testing us right now, 444, to see how bad we really want what we're asking for, and B, how much we're really going to focus, and C, how much we're going to let go of control. Because here's the thing, this is all, in all honesty, guys, your higher self, the universe, God, the plan, the divine plan and blueprint for your life, you may have an idea of what it's going to look like. I do. I know I kind of have an idea of what mine's going to look like, you know, but here's the thing. It's going to be better than we can imagine, because you got to think, the most optimal timeline for you already exists in the field. By you connecting with your future self, you will be on that timeline. But by you controlling it based off of your past information, you will not be on that timeline. Does that make sense? Okay, so yes, from one perspective, yes, you know, we all have this amazing future, but on another perspective, there's no set future. We still got to put in the work. We still got to make the right choices, okay? And yes, you don't have to be perfect. It's not about being perfect here. This is a new perspective of life. You know, you're living outside of time. This is how human beings really shift into that fifth dimension that you probably heard me talking about. We shift into that fifth dimension by realizing that we're living outside of time. We're becoming our higher self in physical form, okay? Meaning that we are connected to all timelines. We're connected to all parallel realities. We're connected to all possibilities. And by being present in this moment, we're a blank canvas, and we're allowing the universe, God, your higher self, to guide you every step of the way to not only what's going to be best for you, but most importantly, what's going to be best for all. And that's really where your divine blueprint comes in, because you can sit here all day long and have all these goals and all these plans and all these visions and all these dreams, and the universe wants what you want. The universe wants to give you everything you want, because that's the whole point of the universe. That's the whole point of God creating souls that are going to go and express different aspects of God in these physical bodies. You see what I'm saying? That's part of the whole plan, okay? But with that being said, we have missions. I mean, this is like a video game. If you look at it like, I don't want to compare this to Grand Theft Auto, but that's what's coming to mind right now. Like there's a free roam mode in the game, but within that game you have lessons that you learn. And basically, if you don't pass the mission, then you have to restart the mission, okay? Or if you don't learn the lesson, you got to learn another lesson. Okay? It's been said many, many times by many spiritual teachers that Earth is a school. We're here to learn something. We're not here for very long. This is a very temporary visit. You know, we all come from God. We all come from Source. That's our home. Whether you call it heaven, whether you call it the astral realm, the Source, I don't know what all these names. There's many names across many different belief systems and religions and all that. And I don't even know about all of them, but that's just what I know about so far. And I don't want to come off here like I know everything, because I definitely don't. I definitely don't. But keep in mind, guys, a lot of these messages I'm sharing with you are coming in. A lot of times I'm channeling angels. A lot of times I'm channeling my guides. A lot of times I'm channeling just different aspects of higher dimensions that I'm not even sure how to articulate yet. But so it's coming from, for example, yes, it's coming from me, from what I've experienced, from what I've researched. But for the most part, I'm channeling in this message from God. And you can really always look at me as a vessel that's channeling in divine knowledge and divine wisdom. And that's really what's happening here. Okay, and just by me studying different spiritual texts and different books and different documentaries and videos and stories and examples and people, Phil Good right now has been someone that I've been watching over and over and over and over again, and I really highly recommend him. To those of you that if you feel like you're resonating with my message, you may resonate with his. And he's kind of really introduced me into the whole concept of living as a dot and living as a multidimensional being, which we all are, whether we are aware of it or not. But he's taught me to value all perspectives, to, observe everything without judgment. Just these simple spiritual teachings. And I also want to give a little bit more credit and resources for those of you guys that are wondering, like, where do I get my information from? Well, I get my information from a couple places. Number one, from within myself, from my own traveling through my third eye. That's number one. Number two, from God. Number three, I'm channeling it in from the ether as I'm speaking. And number four, I have a couple resources of people that I actually study. One of them being Kevin Trudeau, which a lot of you probably know. One of them being Phil Good. One of them being Dr. Joe Dispenza. Ralph Smart and Aaron Doughty really introduced me to spirituality and law of attraction. And before I was into spirituality and law of attraction, I was more into Christianity and religion type of stuff. And that's where I kind of started transferring over to spirituality through Joel Osteen and his teachings at the Lakewood Church there in Houston. I went down and saw them one time as well. And what Joel has really taught me is that God wants you to have big things. You know, growing up in a lot of religions, I feel like we're programmed to believe that having money is a bad thing. And knowing who controls the systems and gives us the specific information they want us to know, it makes a lot of sense why they would want the mass majority of people to subconsciously reject being rich and having money. Because what does that mean? That means they can continue controlling them. But I feel at this point in time in 2021, there's enough people aware, and there's enough opportunities out there that, you know, we have what we need as humanity to get past those limiting beliefs, to get past these old ways of thinking about reality. We have the information we need. You know, we really do. We have the information we need. It's already out there. It's already out there, and it's already in here, ultimately, at the end of the day. You know, as you know, I always say, the real world exists within yourself. The outer world reflects back to you how you feel and what you believe about it, right? If you're worried about the future right now, if you're anxious, what's going to happen in a week, in a month? Well, here's the thing. Let go of control. Your higher self got you, baby. Your higher self got you, baby. Let go of control. You're being guided. You know, it's like whether you write down your goals or not, you're going to be guided to your goals if you're being conscious and present. You see what I'm saying? But of course, if you're not being conscious and you're not consciously creating, then of course you're going to be you're being run by a program. And this is kind of a whole into a different topic. I don't really want to get into this in this video. Kind of went off a tangent here. But I've been setting goals. But I've realized for me, the idea of a goal always works, and I think it's important that we have something that we're going after. It gives us a little bit more of a meaning in our life. But I've kind of created these images in my head that, look, instead of me focusing on the outcome, I'm focusing on the intention instead. Instead of me focusing on what I'm going to get from the exchange, I'm going to focus on what I'm going to give from the exchange. And another one here, this is one that's really held me back for a long time. That's been a really difficult program for me to break, is that, you know, stepping into the creative plane versus the competitive plane. You know, because growing up as a kid, playing sports all the time, having brothers, you know, having classmates, I felt like I was always in comparison. I was trying to be the best. And just, you know, working through the beliefs about competition and worthiness and realizing I don't have to be better than anyone else to be worthy. I don't have to be any better than I am right now to be worthy. I'm worthy right now. And just be in the creative plane, like be in competition with yourself, if anything. And just do it for fun. Like what Ralph Smart said. Like, I remember one time Ralph Smart said, I don't have goals, I have themes. He has a theme for his life. You know, take care of the present moment, the future will take care of itself. Because the future is nothing more than continuation of present moments. You see, when you change your frequency in this now moment, and stay on the timeline of that frequency and of the choices you make, then you will end up in that future reality that you want. You see, that's just another perspective. This is a multidimensional perspective of manifestation, okay? So let's say, for example, sometime in the future, you're not going to put a time frame on it because you can't possibly know when it's going to happen. So don't put a time frame on it. But in this future version of me, I'm going to be living in this house. I'm driving this car. I'm going to have this type of relationship. This is the type of food I'm going to eat. This is how I'm going to dress. Okay, that's my future self. I've already defined that. That's a choice that I've made. You see, when you make a choice that this is who I am, at some point in time in the future, you just created and chose that parallel timeline, which already exists in the infinite possibilities of the field. So you've chosen that timeline. So now all you must do to create that timeline into physical reality is stay within your guidance. Listen to your guidance step by step, because your guides are your future. Your guides are your future self, leaving you the clues and the trail to becoming your future self in physical form. So that future version of you already exists. It already is you. And from the viewpoint of your higher self, the omnipresent bird's eye view, guess what's going to happen? Your higher self already sees every single potential timeline. So when you make a decision, hey, higher self, I choose this timeline, then higher self can say, okay, bet, Jordan wants this. Cool. We're going to send him over these guides. It's going to show him exactly how to get there. He just got to listen in all directions. Awesome, right? And ultimately, guys, it just comes down to frequency. Because realize this, when it comes to your thoughts, you probably heard the strangest secret in the world. Whatever you think about the most, you become. Whatever you think about the most, you become. Realize that. Whatever you think about the most, you become. But when it comes down to thoughts, your thoughts are really just an image and a feeling. Whenever you think the word basketball, you have an image in your mind of either what is it, a basketball player maybe for one person it's a basketball court, maybe for one player maybe for one person it's them making a free throw, maybe for one person it's them getting blocked a shot, maybe for one person it's someone stole the ball from them. You see what I'm saying? Like when you hear the word basketball, you get a different image in your mind than everyone else. That's called this is the visual representation of we all have unique perspectives of reality, you see. If I say basketball, I'm thinking I'm playing at Eureka with Shea Feehan. That's what I see when I see basketball. Or I think Kobe Bryant. Maybe you think LeBron James. You don't know what you think. Or you don't know what everyone else thinks until you start asking them. And then you also have a feeling. Does basketball make you feel good? Does basketball make you feel afraid? Does basketball make you feel not good enough? Does basketball make you feel happy? See, every single word is just a label for a vibration. That's all it is. It's just a label for an experience and the experience is entangled with a vibration. Okay? So it ultimately comes down to the feeling. So that future version of you, it's not the things that you want, it's not the car, it's not the lifestyle, it's not the people in your life, it's the feeling that you feel that's going to give you, that's going to bring you. So for you to produce that feeling, you want to visualize and create a clear mental picture of the future that you want. A clear mental picture of the future that you want. And you visualize it every day. You think about it all the time. You see it all the time. You have it all around your house. You have it in your car. You have it in the bathroom. You have it on your mirror. You have it everywhere. You're thinking about it when you're not even trying to think about it. You accidentally think about it. That's called automatic success. You're thinking about it whether you want to think about it or not. It happens automatically. Okay? And that future has no choice but to happen because you're thinking about it all the time. You're feeling it all the time. And therefore, what's going to happen? It's going to end up happening in physical reality. You're going to be able to experience it physically. Okay? So realize that. You are worthy right now. There's nothing you have to figure out because you already are. You already are that which you seek. You see, we're all made up of stardust. We're all made up of stardust. Source is the energy that flows through all things and from which all things originate. And when you're connected to your source, when you're connected to the infinite stream of well-being, you allow love, you allow God to flow through you. You're in your vortex, and now everything you want just comes to you automatically. When you know what you want, and you feel good about it, and it's in the sweet spot, and you have a burning desire, and you're just so happy. And I think what's important here with manifestation, especially coming into fifth dimensional, or I guess fifth dimension and above, so multi-dimensional manifestation, rather than the old terms of manifestation, is that the difference being that it's happening right now. It's already here. It's really already here, guys. It's already here. That future you want. I think we got to stop putting a time frame on things. A lot of people right now, they know what they want. They know what they want, but part of them's like, well, I'll get started on that in 3 months once I have the money. Or once I got to work this job first, or I got to finish up school first, and then I'll focus on my goals. That's the wrong mindset. That's the wrong mindset. You got to think in terms of now. Because this is what I've realized, the law of diminishing intent. A lot of times later becomes never. That's how you see people 50, 60, 70 years old, never followed their dream. Yet they're looking at kids, they're resentful within themselves because they never followed their dream. Okay? That's what happens. That's the message for today. Just pulling into the garage. Your future self is guiding you. Are you gonna, if you're ever worried about figuring something out, just realize that's your ego from the past. And when you let go of your ego from the past, trying to plan everything out, you be still and allow divine guidance to come from your future self. That's called your intuition. When you let your intuition guide you, you know what actions to take, when to take them, and you don't need to know anything outside of this moment. There's no reason to worry about the future because the future will take care of itself and you take care of the present moment because the future is nothing more than a continuation of present moments. Realize this, guys. You are not your thoughts. You are the presence experiencing them. Come on, dogs. Let's go. Let's go inside. Let's go inside, dogs. You are not your thoughts. You are the presence experiencing them. Go ahead, ladies. Good dogs. You are not your thoughts. You are the presence experiencing them. When you realize you're not your thoughts, you don't have to believe everything you think. And you got to realize if you're thinking negative thoughts, well, where are these thoughts coming from? You got to be in control and be aware of where the thoughts are coming into your mind from. Is it coming in from is it something you're listening to? Is it something you're seeing? Is it something you're saying? Because beliefs are just repeated thoughts. Beliefs are just repeated thoughts. And how do you get something, how do you repeat a thought? Why do you think repeated thoughts? Because you say it all the time, you see it all the time, or you hear it all the time. So if you know that's how beliefs work, wouldn't it make sense to let go of the beliefs that are stopping you from being who you really are or who you want to be, and actually adopt beliefs about who you really want to be and make that be how you see yourself? How do you do that? Through repetition and emotion, right? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you speaking? Who are you listening to? Are you listening to your grandma and grandpa about your future? Or are you listening to your friends, your family? Or are you listening to someone who already has the results you want? Which one is it? Who are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Okay? What are you thinking about, ladies and gentlemen? Are you aware of what you're thinking about? Are you conscious of your unconscious thoughts? Meditation is the word of the day. Take care of yourself and the rest will take care of itself. Self-love is the key to success. Go within yourself and realize the answer you're looking for already exists within you. Your heart has the answer before your mind could think of a question. Ladies and gentlemen, meditate. Observe your thought as it is. Realize that you don't have to identify with everything you think because you are not your thoughts. You are the present experience them. I believe in you guys. I love you. That's the message for today, man. Listen to your future self instead of your past, right? Your ego is your past. Your guides are your future. It's that simple. When you step out of planning things and man-made time, that's the old way of thinking, right? That's the old Earth's way of thinking. In the new Earth, the Earth making this shift where we're going into the fifth dimension, right? Going into the fifth dimension states that we're living outside of time. Everything's in the eternal now. Everything's right now. Everything's right now. There is no, the future exists right now. Okay, when you change your frequency now, the future changes. The timeline that you're going to experience in the future changes when you change your frequency now. That's how it works. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm going to wait till next week. I'm going to wait till tomorrow. Oh, I'll do that next time. Or, once I get all the right circumstances, then I'll take action. Or once I get all the money, then I'll finally do that business. Or once I finally, get out of this environment, then I'll actually take this seriously. No, it's like whatever you do it now. Right? Whatever you do it now. Like I have a new merchandise coming out where you can actually buy, and I'll probably link this below. I'll link this below because by the time this gets uploaded, I'm sure this will be out. If not, it'll be coming soon. Hopefully it's out by then. But I have this new watch that you can buy, and instead of it having like man-made time on there, it just says now. That's all it says. It's a watch that says now. So if you ever look at your goddamn watch and you say, what time is it? It's now, bitch. It's now, bitch. That's what time it is. It's not in 10 minutes. It's not in an hour. It's not, it's 8 p.m. No, it's now. It's now. Someone needed to hear that. It's now. It's now. You heard? Did you hear me? It's now. That's the time. Okay? I love you. I appreciate you. And I wish the best for you. With that being said, I will link every link I have below that's relevant for this now moment. And I will see you in a future version of the now. Peace.